I'm just so far gone, this isn't what it seems. Taking me so damn long, it's fading from belief. I need to slow this down, it's burning from beneath. Come break this line, before tomorrow dies. Holding on for what it's worth, my life. I'm all in time, I'll make it up the vine. Find my way to giants in the sky. Tonight it comes to life.
So Monday morning, off to a good start so far. So just the one trade taken this morning, which was pound dollar for a sell. Ended up banking 7R or 3.5% profit. The reason is 3.5 is because I'm only risking 0.5% per trade right now. The reason being, some of you will know, some of you may not know, but I've recently added a second or sub strategy into the overall portfolio. So because it's relatively new and I've been trading it, three weeks, I didn't want to jump in with 1%. It's quite a lot of risk to kind of, even though it's very, very small in the grand scheme of things, it still adds up to a lot of money. So I'd rather just drop the risk to 0.25, 0.5, increase the confidence, get consistent results, get some wins under the belt, and then start, looking at things like tightening my stop loss a little bit if I need to, increasing the risk a little bit. So that's the game plan, that's the mindset. I'd rather scale longer term instead of trying to get there quick. It's a long-term game. That's why a lot of people fail in this game. So many people are trying to get there quickly and trying to, force it and risk high amounts to get there. There's no need. It's a business. Treat it like a business. Treat it that way. So that's what I'm doing. But as soon as I've taken a trade, very soon after, I'll get all my thoughts. Get all my thoughts out on to the journal. Write about my psychology, any lessons, the trade analysis, how I manage the trade. It's relatively simple, but I want to talk you through it right now. So let's take a look at that. So just to give you a live example of the journaling process, because I'm just doing this live as we speak right now. So the trade itself ended in result of 7R, so 7 risk to reward, but I'm only risking 0.5%. So it actually worked out at 3.5%. So happy with that one. Psychology, so I'll put like a little section for trade analysis. So the reasons behind taking the trade, the analysis behind it, am I happy with it, everything like that. Then what I'll do is like a mini psychology section. So here you can see psychology was optimal prior to taking this position. Everything was prepared well and truly in advance. That's the key over the weekend. So when it came to London Open on Monday morning, I was ready to execute the trade should something present itself, which is exactly what happened. So happy with that. And if I do come into any emotions, not so much anymore, but 6, 12, 18, 24 months ago, this used to be a lot more detailed. So over time, it'll naturally get shorter and shorter or more precise, but it's just good to keep track of everything, good to maintain it. And if you do get any emotional patterns creep in, it's just good to spot it straight away, and then you can tweak it. And if you need to adjust it, you can do so. So that was good. And then any lessons. So for this trade, the only thing that I would take away regarding it being a winner would have been that I could have shaved 1 or 2 pips off the stop loss for a higher risk to reward. But saying that, like I've written down here, what I'm interested in right now is just stacking the wins. I'd rather just gain consistency with the substrat right now, gain more results in the live market, and then tighten that further down the line. I'm not too fussed about getting in with a super tap, pip stop, taking more losses. I'd rather increase confidence from first and foremost before then reducing that later down the line. And then last but not least, prior to the screenshots, I'm going to have like a little section on how I manage the trade. Am I happy with it? Would I do anything different? So that's what I'm going to get on with now.
Until the dawn breaks, no, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall first to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you'll never be found, and you can't start again until you break down.
Right, so I was in the middle of backtesting, but I just wanted to kind of spark thought and give you a couple of tips. So in terms of backtesting, this is what I think some people kind of go wrong. This is where I went wrong, to be fair. So just complete transparency, I used to mess up here, but here's the key thing, right? If you've got a strategy and it works and you know it works, but maybe needs tweaking or refining or adjusting slightly, don't worry about the raw data as much. As long as let's say for example, right? Let's say you've got one pair, let's say Aussie dollar, and you've got 60% profit for the year, but the strike rate is like 47, 48. Don't worry about it too much because you can add filters. So what does a filter mean? Well, it means that you've got the raw data, use that as the master spreadsheet, right? No adjustments, no nothing. You can always copy that spreadsheet, try one adjustment, call it version 1.0 for example. Try, okay, okay, I've just spotted this time frame doesn't work. So for example, London session doesn't seem to be the best for this pair. Let me try getting rid of London session. How's the pair now? How does it perform? How's the strike rate? Has it stayed the same or has it gone from 47 to 60? Like, start to pay attention to these stuff. Like, that's the biggest thing I'll say. As long as it doesn't mess with your profit and loss too much, then I think it's well worth adding in a filter or two filters, or however many you need. Don't go overboard. I think with my first strategy when I was developing that, I was kind of like, imagine a line in the sand where there's like too much and too less. I was almost crossing that line, I feel, between adding too much filters, which, to be honest with you, that's one of the reasons why there is a low frequency of trades. So I'll probably average like 5 to 8 to 10 trades a month, so not a lot of trades. I'd say, yeah, that would be a big tip, I would say. So we're having a break from testing right now. I'm gonna have like 10 minutes answering questions and then I'm gonna get some food. So I put like a poll on Instagram earlier and you guys sent in some good questions and I said that I'll pick out the best 2 or 3. So I think I said 1 or 2, but anyway. So I'm gonna answer a couple now and then maybe 1 or 2 later on if I get a chance. So let's go for it. So the first one is, it's a good question from Callum. He says, how long have you been supporting yourself financially from trading and YouTube, etc.? So it's a good question. I would say, honestly, January 2020, which if you go back to a previous video, that was kind of when I went from part-time job to then full-time trading in YouTube. That's when I really started to feel like I was supporting myself at least a little bit from that sort of stuff. Before that, it was kind of mix and match, like especially trading wise, like I was getting results, but it wasn't really consistent flow. So I'd say January 2020 was where I really started to kind of feel it, because before that I was working a full-time job for like 18 months and then I transitioned into part-time work at another firm, which was a family firm, for another 18 months I believe, and then by the end of that is like January 2020. So yeah, I'd say at that point, now like even, I mean, this year, like it's just gone January, I've just filed my first taxes for self-employment. It feels good, but like there's still pressure on myself to like perform and do this and do that, and especially trading wise as well. But it's just, I love it. So you just got to develop yourself and just continue growing, really, just get all the foundations in place, which is what I feel like I'm doing and I have done so far. So yeah, there's upsides and downsides, let's put it that way. Yeah. So next question, we got another one. So we've got, how does it feel to see certain goals coming into fruition? Shout out to Ismash, this is a mate. So yeah, it feels good, but I'm humble enough to kind of, even though things coming into fruition, it feels good to reward yourself for a few days and realize how far you've come and celebrate that goal. But at the same time, I like to think of it in terms of having your head in the clouds, thinking big, but then having your feet like stable on the ground, in terms of you're able to balance between the two. You're able to balance the highs, but then you're able to balance the lows, and you can kind of find a sweet spot between the two. That's where I like to be, because in the past I think back to my old videos and where I was in like 2017, 2018, my head was so far into the clouds, not just being completely honest. Now I'm kind of a lot more realistic with the goals that I set, even though I'm thinking big. You know, I've got huge goals for this year, but the difference is now it's not like an iffy goal. It's just I've got a plan in place and I know exactly how I'm going to achieve it. In the past, it was almost like I know I'm going to achieve it, but it's almost too far out of reach to even consider right now. That's how I look at it. So, but yeah, it feels good. Like last year, there was a lot of hard work into it. Like I've talked about before, it's hard to kind of show. Talked about this with a mate on a call the other day. I'm like, no matter how much you show on camera in terms of the work that goes in, you can never like show it. You can never show it. I don't think I'll ever be able to show it. And this is why like only a few people make it within the game. This is why, I'm not made it or anything at this point. I'm still working my way up to that point, but this is why you see so many people fail. Like, there's just so much work that goes in behind the scenes. There's so much, and I could say it and it sounds so cliche, me even saying it, because unless you've been through the same thing yourself, you will never really truly know how much stuff you go through. That's not to put you off trading, because trading can be I love trading. I think it's such a good way to make money, especially longer term as well, once you develop that skill. But like, just don't expect it to be easy, because it just isn't. But it's good though. Okay, sweet. So we'll have this as the last question. Matt asks, do you have any leisure time or time outside of non-trading stuff? Yeah, I do, mainly at the weekend. Once I've done, basically, same in the week. Once my work's done for the day, so I'll have the first 5, 6, 7 hours of the day, I'll trade London, I'll backtest, I'll get most of my goals set for the day. Then after that, I'll kind of relax off and do some more light work. I'll catch up with friends a little bit, not every day, mostly at the weekend and stuff. Stuff like that. So if you're dating someone, then it can help, or whether you've got friends, then that can help as well. But for me, it's key to get that work in and then have that kind of time after that. The gym as well. I know we're in lockdown right now, but I'm working at home, so the gym's like therapy for me. Sometimes I go on runs as well. Walks, I'll do skipping, like just alone time with myself as well. So kind of like a mixture between friends, family, relationships, and then just doing stuff by myself too. So yeah, don't worry, I'm not all work, like I'm mostly work, but I have a bit of a balance as well. So, or at least trying to. So I just wanted to check in really quickly and just show you an update on the live market. So obviously it's out of my trading hours for the day trading stuff, but in terms of the main strat, that just goes 24/7. So I'm actually looking for a potential setup on pound dollar once again at a similar place to where I got involved this morning, just from a different strategy, from a different standpoint. So it's going to be interesting. So on the daily time frame, if we just take a look at this, just going to give you a brief breakdown. Price is still clearly within the uptrend because we're still making higher highs, higher lows. However, there may be a short-term sell, so I'm looking at that on a lower degree, but we are in an uptrend until we break these areas here. So keen to see what develops. Digging down to the 4 hour, we can see that we've had equal highs, this double top in this area here. Price is pushed above and broke back below, so looking to see if we do get a potential short. Now, this is the area that I sold from previously, so this is the area that I got involved this morning for the day trading scalping stuff. Now I'm looking to see, okay, well, does price actually return to this level before then potentially selling off again? So I've already got an order set in this area here, so that'll be keen to see, number one, does price actually pull back to this area? And number two, does it play out or not? So keen to see how that develops, but I'll let you know if I do take any trades. And then I've got the data to support this here. So if I just turn this brightness down, so you can see this very clearly. If I just turn this light off. Boom. So this is a setup, and as you can see, compound return of 40.72 in 2018, and then we've got 17.84 in 2019. 2020 was just as good, if not better. Strike rate, love a good strike rate. So 60% in 2018, 66.67 in 2019, and it was around the same in 2022. Just got to update it. Average winning trades 7.03, which is very good, and then 4.83 in 2019. Max drawdown only 1%, and then 2% in the following year of 2019. So what that basically means is that how many losses do you take in a row? So I've taken 2 losses in a row followed by winners. So very happy with that. I've got the stats to back everything up. As you can see, it's not just iffy whiffy, strategy stuff. This is all data backed from previous data, 2018, 2019, and 2020 put together to make this whole strat. So keen to see how this one plays out. I'll keep updated, and if we do get an entry, I'll let you know. Facts, if we hadn't had that retail background, we wouldn't be flowing the way we are now. Whereas because we've had those 2-3 years in retail, mate, there's so much I learned from then that we can bring into fruition now, which is just the best. So
yeah, you notice as well, don't you? Sometimes think, well, hang on, are they used to have got in there, and that's helpful for us now because. Yeah. Well, if I used to have got in there, that means all retailers are technically getting in there. So I know there's liquidity there, there's volume there.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I said, yeah, definitely. If we'd have just come straight from not trading straight into institution, you won't necessarily click on and realise the things that we realise.
No, exactly.
Because I find every day you realise something and you think, shit, yeah. Oh shit, yeah. Like, all day long, literally, you're out hiring all day.
Facts, man. So it's a little bit later on now, so it's 7:25, so a lot later on. I've just finished up a call about half an hour ago with a friend, which was good. Just to catch up, trading talk, goals talk, that kind of thing. So it was really good to catch up. And he's maybe going to be starting a YouTube soon, so that'd be sick for him to document his stuff and his mindset and stuff. So can't wait for that. But overall, yeah. So just finished up with a lot of testing today. So managed to get out with four months of testing on Aussie dollar. Things are looking good, but from the raw data, there can be a few tweaks that I may add. So it's going to be good to see the end product of that. And then I decided I'm gonna do one last question on these because I've got a lot of questions, and one kind of caught my eye which I resonate with, and I think it's such a great way to end out the video and offer value in my perspective and my experience so far. So it's going to be good. So thank you for the person that sent this in. What I'm going to do actually as well, if you have any questions about anything, just drop them down below. I'm going to try, every time I do a vlog like this, I'll try to at least answer one. Just one throughout the video, offer value, give it back, and just really pay it forward. And I think that's going to be such a valuable way, especially for beginners on this channel, to kind of learn and pick little things up and little sparks up and little thoughts up that they can use in their journey as well. So if that's you, send in any questions that you like on the comment section on these videos, and I'll be sure to read them, like them, comment back, and then answer them in videos. So that'd be good. But cracking on with this one, so we have this. So it reads, parents say I need a real job. They don't believe in me. I do, but how can I make my salary being a beginner? It's a good question. I think you have to realize that you're not going to be earning a salary from trading for a while. That's just the honest truth. I know people don't want to hear that. I know people want to hear, yeah, but it's only going to take me 3 months, 6 months. It's not. Trust me. You can become consistent in 3 months, 6 months. I thought I was consistent a year into trading, but then it's hard. How do you explain this? It's almost like you haven't paid your dues to the market. So if you're consistent within 3 months or 6 months, yes, you may be consistent for a short period of time, but it's very likely you're going to drop off and realize it's almost like a short burst of results, and then you realize, okay, well, I really don't know nothing, and then it's almost like a back and forth. It's like a staircase. It's like progression, back step, up again, progression, back forward, up again. It's like that constant progression, repeat and rinse and repeat over and over again. So I think even if you are consistent 3 months in, you have to pay your dues. It's likely at 3 months in, you haven't paid your dues to the market. You've got to almost internalize a certain level of pain and it sounds weird if you're new to it, but a certain amount of pain, a certain amount of due diligence to the market, because it's like you doing a course at college. You need to pay your dues. You need to put the work in before that course or that qualification will give you dividends, right? It's the same thing with trading. It's going to take a while. Obviously, you've got to look at it like a degree. If it takes you 3, 4, 5 years, at least you can have a skill at the end of it, a very good skill that you can transform into other areas of life. You could, take care of your family, or if you get to that level, not, to be honest, it's going to be as real as possible. The more I get into the space and the more I develop myself as a trader, the more I start to realize why so few people make it in trading. It's just the honest truth. Like I don't know what the exact figure is, but if you take 5% of people make it in trading, I'm still on that journey, I haven't made it yet. It really cements the hardship of the journey, and I don't mean to say that to kind of put you off, but just realize how long it's going to take, or how long it's likely going to take. And I was talking to a friend the other day on a Zoom call. We were saying the exact same thing, where you think you're going to be that one person to almost beat the market. I thought the same. He thought the same. A lot of people think the same, where it's almost that upfront ego coming into the markets where it's like, yeah, but I'm different, or yeah, but I've got this, and this, and you think you can beat the market. You think you can become consistent in 6 months or successful in 6 months. I feel like a lot of people will resonate with this, because a lot of people will go through this. But you just have to realize that it's no different. You've got to pay your dues. Like, you really have to pay your dues. And the more I get into it, like I said, the more I learn, the more I progress, the more results I have. It just cements the fact of how little I knew before and how little I know now. And that's why I'm so focused on keeping learning and just developing myself, working on myself behind closed doors, and then that's going to transform into more things in the future. So, but honestly, going back to the question, the best thing I did after achieving some goals trading wise, which I haven't really spoken on YouTube yet, last year, was sit my family down and just show them, this is what I've done this year. So, you know, some clear, tangible results, this and that, and give them proof of, okay, well, because they see, you have to think about it from their perspective. You can't expect them to believe in a vision that they haven't tangibly seen yet. You can believe in it, of course, that's how everything starts. But for your parents, it's going to be super hard unless they really, really believe in you to see that vision of what you hold for yourself. So you have to show them something tangible, and straight away you're not going to have that. But over time, start to show them small bits. You know, I was against this in the beginning, but the more I get into the journey, the more I realize that no, it's actually a good thing. Like, to show your parents, okay, I made this profit, or this happened, or this and that. And it's not to. I'm not a big fan of sharing too much profits and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's good for them to realize where you are within your journey and how far you progressed, and they can then see almost like a light at the end of the tunnel for the work you put in. They start to put two and two together and be like, okay, well, he spends hours on the charts, he's getting results. Okay, makes sense. But then if they just see you spending hours on the charts with no results, it's like a magnetic pull. It's like too much in one direction without give and take. So you have to kind of balance that out and just talk to them. And when I talked to my parents about that, it honestly lifted so much weight off my shoulders. So I would highly recommend that if you're at the later stages of the journey and you haven't yet mentioned it. So yeah, hopefully that helps. So we're going to leave it at that. I know I've been hinting at a series for a while, and it is on its way. It takes time, and it's taken a lot longer than I thought it would be, but it's still in the works. It's still an idea that I have in my mind for a while. I've got all the episodes planned and stuff like that. So it's going to be sick, but I'm not sure how long it's going to take. But when it comes out, it will be sick, and I can't wait for that. So you'll see me sharing more things now. Like, I'm being a lot more open about profit and losses, and just showing you tangible things. Like, that's the way it's going to be in the future as well. Just show you more things so that you can relate to the journey a little bit more and understand where I've come from to where I am now to where I'm going to be in the future. Like, that's the way I want to see it. I've been thinking about this a lot, and without showing that, you don't tangibly see. You can't relate to things on the same level. So I'm going to be sharing a lot more things. I've got everything from past journeys and stuff like that, which I can show in future videos, which is going to be sick as well, and provide a lot of perspective. I've got so many people I want to have on the channel that have been on the journey alongside me that will really provide you the real side of trading. So I cannot wait. It's going to be sick. And yeah, just pumped for that. So it's going to be good, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave it here. Going to get back to my night routine, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
With